Hey YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode here on ESGNet of Madden 17 Pittsburgh Steelers franchise. This is Steeler Nation. This is episode number 2, and we are getting ready to look at the last couple of weeks here with the Steelers. We're going to look back at weeks 5 through 8. Of course, week 8 was a bye week, so not much going on in that. So really, we're going to be looking at weeks 5 through 7. Take a look here at the injury report right now, and of course, we have several injuries there. One of them that recently just came up was the Bell injury. He has a collarbone. He's going to be out for the next 5 weeks for us, and it really sucks that he ends up becoming injured. Now, we do have a couple guys that will be eligible to come back. I believe we have our third-string quarterback there. See Bruce there. He's going to be able to come back. We have another defensive player I think is going to be coming back for us. Now, for our signings here, we're going to go ahead, and I know I've been talking about this here in the last couple of weeks, here on the last couple of episodes, I should say, here on for the Pittsburgh Steelers franchise. But we're going to go ahead, and we're going to not worry about signing Harrison there. Now, we do try to see if we can sign Nix there, and for right now, I think for the most part, we're not going to worry about re-signing him. We're just going to go ahead and we're just going to go ahead and deal with David Johnson right here. I think, honestly, looking at his numbers wise, he has better blocking, pass blocking right there for us. Impact's a lot more better. So we're going to go ahead and go with him, as Nix just doesn't. He's wanting too much money, and really he hasn't. To me personally, he has not gotten. He hasn't did anything really special for us. When it comes to the blocking game, when blocking or even pass receptions, there I think he dropped a pass in one of the games that we did actually throw the ball to him. So I mean, yeah, that might be the first time or so we threw him to him, but he hasn't been an impact player. He hasn't been a player that's been brought up in play-by-plays or anything like that, or in the stat sheet. So that's something we're gonna have to work on. We'll go ahead and sign David Johnson. There you see Rockwell. We'll go ahead and sign him. He's one of our young corners there. And again, I think during depending on what goes on in some of these contracts that we just re-signed are not going to be big contracts, so we could have some wiggle room to get around some of those if we need to. If you find some guys better in free agency and stuff like that. But I know for the draft-wise, we are going to be really focusing on defense, which I think I've talked about this on the first episode of Steeler Nation, also on previous episodes of the franchise. Defense is going to be very important for us for this upcoming draft, and maybe even the next draft, as we're trying to work upon that to get to get a lockdown defense that will help us out. And not give up so many, not have so many tight games. But right now we're going to take a look around the league here and show you guys some of the stats there when it comes to, passing, receiving, rushing, and so on and so forth. You guys can look at that here as I'm talking. But for the most part, really, truly, these last couple of games here, I think we'll see here some of them here in just a bit. It's been really tough. It's been really tough to really hold on to games and really try to get ourselves some distance when it comes to scoring in a lot of these games. And you'll see here in just a bit of what I'm talking about. If you have been following here on the channel, in which you guys can, there's a link down below if you guys can watch the series from the very beginning. This was something I was really worried about all season long from the beginning of the season, which was our defense, and that was the reason why I wanted to build defense from the ground up. I knew they're going to be tight games, just like this one, 36-31 against the Dolphins. Now, don't get me wrong, Dolphins are a great team. They got a great team down there. I like the new stadium that they pretty much just did an overhaul on. Just a really nice stadium. But there you see Roethlisberger, 3 touchdowns, 517 yards, 25 of 43, 58% of his passes. It was a pretty of a tough day there. He did have that one interception. Ryan Tannehill really was on fire there. He on cue on a lot of plays there. 26 of 32, So 81% of his passes were completed, 57 yards there, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He didn't throw that many touchdowns, but he did have an excellent when he needed passes completed, they were completed. The running game right there, you see Damian Williams, 18 carries, 69 yards, 2 touchdowns there for him. Had a great day. Williams just had a tough day when it comes to rushing, and that's what it seems like has been happening here. Here in the last couple of weeks with him, you'll see here that his numbers are being kind of declining as we go from week to week. And I don't know if that's because he's got used to now Bell. Bell came back early, came back here in week 4, and then he ended up getting taken out in week 5. And I think Williams may have thought, okay, I'm only going to be here as a backup, as maybe a third down, or a first down run or something like that, or maybe I think a second down, kind of guy. But I don't know. He was doing good at the beginning there, the first 3 weeks, and then here lately, since he's now going to be back the starter again for several more weeks, I think his number. I don't understand what's going on. Talking to him, he did say that he's been having a little trouble. He does have some issues with his legs. Got some bruises and stuff like that, which is going to happen to you because this is the NFL. You're going to have that kind of stuff happen. But at the same time, he really thinks that the offensive line is just not miscues, miscommunication, and and talking to some of the linemen, they agree there's been some issues with some communication, and that's something they're going to try to work on here as they get ready for Week 9 against the Ravens. The Ravens are a very good run-stopping defense, and that's something they want to go back to. The last couple of weeks here, especially just like in this one, there you see Roethlisberger 600 yards, 7 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Tom Brady 421 yards, 3 touchdowns. Brady, of course, 79% of his passes were completed. We could not get a hold of him, which really hurt us badly. I want to say Brady, I think maybe got sacked once in that game. So we got to work on that a lot more. There you see LeGarrette Blount, 159 yards. Our rushing defense was just horrible. I mean, just horrible. But passing-wise, you see Green, 299 yards and 2 touchdowns there. He had a great day. This game right here, I will tell you guys, I know I'm going off the track of what I was trying to say earlier, but this game was just this. Mike Tomlin was very upset. He says this cannot happen again. This could not happen again. He stressed that in the meetings here this past week, talking about what happened in this game, and it was very unacceptable for him, and for this ball club. This ball club has too much potential. Yes, do they have some issues on defense they need to work on? He agrees with that, and he acknowledges that, and he told us there was quite a few things that he was wanting to change. But overall, this was a team effort, and the offense could only do so much. The defense wasn't there to help out the offense. There was a lot of times where offense was struggling there, and he told the defense, "Come on, pick it up. Let's go out there, just start scoring here for help out the offense. Let's score on the defense side of the ball." So, talking to him this past week, I think the team feels more confident. I think they're ready to go on and face the Ravens here, even though right now the Ravens are in second place in their division. But going back to what I was saying about the offensive line there, we did mention him about that. He said that was something that he noticed in the Miami game, and then again he wanted to address that here. It was a lot more tighter, a lot more. The guys were blocking a lot more, but he says the A gap, B gaps were just crumbling, and that was something that he did not really care for to see. It wasn't necessarily Williams' issue, but it was more of an offensive line thing. And the offensive line is going to have to work on that this week in practice. One thing he said, he wants that gap, he wants the A gap or B gap wide open, so whoever's in the backfield can run back there. So I'm hoping, and we're all hoping here, that that'll be the case here coming up. Take a look at the latest standings here as we move along here, and you see a couple teams there. Dolphins 1-6 right now. Almost got that victory there against Pittsburgh. But going on, I think I've been saying this and I've been kind of stretching this, but this is a team. And even Mike Tomlin said this was a team that was going to be doing a lot of bending, but hopefully it would bend to a point where it didn't break. And he feels like it's gotten to the point now that there's been continuing the same issues been going on week for week. Defense not stepping up. Defense not pretty much shutting the game down early in the third quarter. That it's going to eventually break, and when it breaks, it's going to break heavily. So him saying that this week, and as a guy that's been following this team here since we started this series, I kind of agree with him. It's going to be a team that it's going to be, we keep breaking and bending, and it's going to be brittle to the point where someone is going to be able to pretty much just break it open. And then what happens? You don't want to see a team that's been going red hot like this team has been and been winning games dirty. But not the word dirty, I mean, in a negative fashion, but when it getting down there and doing what they have to do to win the game, not win the game as quickly and easily as they want to. We've had an overtime game already here this season with them. He doesn't want to go into that in that mode again. So, but wrapping up here, you see the latest standings in the NFC West. The teams really going to have to work on and focus in this week on the defense. So defense, and Mike Tomlin's hoping that this defense here. There's been talks of some guys, maybe some backups getting some more playing time here, maybe to really help out everyone that's on defense that's been kind of banged up right now, because we are kind of banged up. We got a lot of guys on IR right now, and possibility that maybe that's the reason guys that normally are not playing as much as they used to, or they're accustomed to. Maybe that's the reason why, and maybe there just need to be more of people, more substitutions. So a lot more substitution packages for a lot of these guys, especially when it comes to the corners and safeties. Really the corners right now. The corners are something that that is one of our main focus when it comes to the draft there here coming up in the spring, but. I want to know from you guys down below in the comment section, what do you guys think in the game? What do you think so far for this Steelers team? What do you think there's some focus needed to be following? Me personally, I think it would be the corners, and I would say the linebackers. Like I said, we're not getting much out of James Harrison, so for right now, we're not going to deal with re-signing him. We're going to actually have him go out and test free agency. Because honestly, I think win or lose, if we do get to the postseason and we do get to the Super Bowl, if we don't, I really feel like he's going to retire. He's 38 years of age. I don't see him, playing in maybe another season of football. If we sign him to a contract, it wouldn't be a long-term contract. And also too, it's kind of just a curse that's been brought upon me here playing on Madden games, that usually when you get guys that age and that you sign them to another year, another contract for a year or so, that kind of usually comes back and bites you in the rear end, and you end up losing them for the whole season. So kind of just want to cut my losses now and then just try to rebuild that the linebackers and really corners and some of the defensive line, especially the defensive ends there, from the ground up. So like I said, we're going to be looking at a lot of guys coming up here, and don't be surprised if we see more cuts here coming up here in the next couple of weeks. Guys getting cut just for the fact that we just they're not doing what they're supposed to, and could be on the could be on the hot seat on a lot of things. A lot of people in Pittsburgh are wondering if Mike Tomlin, if they don't, if they do make it to the playoffs, or they, and do well, will he still be on the hot seat? We asked him about that, and he knows that there's been talk. He knows there's been him and the owner has been talking to each other, and for right now, he feels like that this team's on the right direction. So far, they haven't lost a game, but they have been coming close to losing games. Now, don't get me wrong, there eventually will be a loss somewhere down along the line, but he's hoping that it won't be the kind of loss that he thinks is going to happen if this defense does not get themselves together. So, honestly, you can't have a defense that's playing like this all year long, because that's just asking for trouble. So that's what he just does not want to do here coming up here in the next, especially the second half of this season. We've got a lot of divisional games coming up. We got Ravens coming up, and then we got we still got 2 games against Cleveland, and then we still got a host the Bengals coming up. So, but as you see here, we got this first. I think this is the first game we're playing against the Ravens this season. So this will be the first time we've seen the Ravens. They're 5-2. We'll see what they can do there as they host us there in Baltimore. We're 7-0 going to Week 9. Can we be 8-0? We'll find out here in the upcoming episode of the Steelers franchise here on ESGNet. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening to Steeler Nation. If you guys, again, have any suggestions or any ideas or any comments, please leave them down below in the comment section, and I will take a look at them and get back with you on those. But that is it for the Steeler Nation this week. Stay tuned for Week 9 here coming up here on ESGNet. As always, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr. If you like the video, please leave a like. Also, subscribe to the channel for more Pittsburgh Steelers franchise here on the channel. And thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, keep yourselves really healthy, and I will see you guys next time.